Hi, this is Helen, and I want to share with you some of the tips that we've been learning about how to complete any of the Progress Providers. So the first thing is about doing it in a group. That really helps, and particularly getting people to work in pairs throughout the session. The person who's leading the session needs to have really good examples of what level 4 and what level 5 look like in practice. Now these might be local examples, national or international examples, but the whole purpose of this is being able to get a great benchmark about what good looks like so that people can assess themselves. Now something that I've learned recently from this book here, An Everyone Culture, is that people may either lean towards an arrogant side or towards a humble side. So few of us get to be balanced right in the middle. So people who are more likely to lean more arrogant or overconfident are more likely to overrate themselves, whereas people who are likely to be much more underconfident or humble are likely to underrate themselves. So if it's possible to have this conversation at the beginning of the session and ask people in pairs just to say, well, which way would you tend to think that you lean? It will then help the discussions throughout the session. But as a general point, if you're not sure whether you're 2 or 3, if you feel like you're in the middle, it's much better to always rate yourself slightly lower. So if you're rating yourselves 4 or 5s on some things, we want your colleague, the person you're working in a pair with, to be a critical friend or a devil's advocate. And that means asking really searching questions to help the person describe how they'd evidence being a level 4 or a 5. So it might be if you're up for an award to demonstrate that you're number 4 or 5 and the people who are giving the award came round, what would you need to show them, or what would your colleagues need to say to prove that you really were at 4 or 5? Or if the inspectors or the quality assurance team were coming round, how would you evidence to them that you really were 4 or 5? Or if you've been asked to write a blog to describe your experiences of getting to 4 or 5, what would you say? So it's about helping people to really think about the evidence, the examples that they give to demonstrate a higher number, and also to see if it's possible to corroborate this. So how would you could find out from other people whether this team, this person was really a 4 or 5? Who else could you ask about it to? So of course the purpose of Progress Providers is to know what good looks like, to know what 4 or 5s really look like, to be able to do an honest self-assessment about where you think you are, to be able to evidence that if necessary and get other people to confirm that you are indeed there. But then most importantly, to put together some actions about how you move from whether you're 1, 2, 3, up the scale to 3, 4 or 5.